Are you ready for this? Why did I just flex on you guys? Because in this video, I am going against someone who is using items on I think 2 or 3 of his characters, which is a lot, puts me at a massive disadvantage, and putting items on your characters is basically like taking steroids. Your character is on steroids. If your Goku or your Broly spawns in with a full ki gauge, they are basically on steroids. And me, I am natty. I do not go into matches with items. All my characters are natty, and I myself am natty. And I was able to beat someone who was taking a boatload of steroids as a natty. Enjoy the video, like and subscribe. Well, since some of you guys said you would like to see matches where I do dominate instead of matches that are quite challenging for me, you guys just made my job way easier. So here's a match where I basically dominated him, despite I think like 3 of his characters having items on them. And I don't have any items on my character, so I'm at a massive disadvantage. If you didn't know, I queue up for no item matches, and there are some items that can work in a match. One of them being an item where you could have full ki gauge, and having a full ki gauge is a massive advantage. The reason having a full ki gauge is a massive advantage is because you can think of ki being like potential damage and farming skill points. If you have a full ki gauge, you will win your Vanish Wars, and if you win your Vanish Wars, you could farm more skill points than your opponent. And if you have more skill points, you could do a lot more things like Instant Spark or more defensive opportunities for you. But yeah, having a full ki gauge, starting with a full ki gauge, is insane. But I think this guy only cares to have a full ki gauge so he could use more supers, and he doesn't really know how to take advantage of it. And I do want to say that there have been a lot of people making excuses for others using items in the game. Like, I get sometimes it could be by accident, but I don't think this is an accident. This is probably not his first match of the night, right? So he went into these matches knowing he has items on. I highly doubt he did not know he had items on. And if he did do it by accident, then he shouldn't have rematched me. As you can see, he did rematch me. But hey, it's whatever. I'll take it as a challenge. Although I just don't like that it's cheat. To me, it's cheating. Because you're queuing up for a game that is no items and you have items on. You could see his Goku spawned in with a full ki gauge. And I have a measly 1 ki bar. I get a Sonic Sway off, and Sonic Sway drains 1 ki, and he wastes all his ki using a super. And I noticed right away he's using items because one thing you need to do if you want to improve your gameplay is be aware of the resources that they have. Because if you could see that they have ki advantage over you, you could choose whether or not you want to engage with them. And making those decisions are really important when you have low health. When you have high health, you could get away with a lot of things. But if you have low health and you're not in ki advantage, you have to be very careful with engaging with them. Because if you lose your engagements, you could lose a character. And you all know you do not want to lose characters. So, lesson here is, if you're low on health, make sure you are in ki advantage before you engage. And this right here, I think, did his Broly spawn in with 1 skill point too? I didn't even notice that. So he's using multiple items, and Broly spawning in with an extra skill point and a full ki gauge puts him at a massive advantage. And Broly is a scary character. One of the disadvantages of Broly, a massive disadvantage of Broly, is that he should be coming in with 1 ki bar only, as opposed to the average 2 ki bars. Since he usually spawns in with only 1 ki bar, that means he is at a massive disadvantage in terms of engagements, and that should help you be able to deal with Broly in the case if he transforms. But this guy doesn't seem to know what he's doing, doesn't get a single super counter off on me, and I wipe his Broly from full health down to 0 health. Insane, isn't it? In this situation where you're down a character and you're not locked onto him, you could switch your character and you'll automatically lock onto him. Which I could have done that, but I didn't feel like doing it because, like, clearly I have a massive I'm better than this guy, you know, like in the most humble way. I am better than this guy, so I don't really have to pull all the stops and try my hardest. And a weird glitch happens here. I downed his Roshi, but he just simply disappears from the screen instead of spawning out. I don't know what the terminology is, but that was a very weird glitch, and I was very confused by that. I think this guy was a S2 rank, and it's just like his basic fundamentals are so bad. He must be like purely relying on the fact that he's using items to try and rank up. The game is rather laggy. You could see in the bottom right hand corner the little bars, the 3 bars. Once it goes red, that means his PC can't handle the game. So yeah, I choose 5-bar connection only when I queue up, but if someone has a bad PC, it will cause the game to lag. And since I choose this stage to play on, it's not the best. So that's why a lot of people with bad PCs, they'll play on Hyperbolic Time Chamber, because I don't think that stage doesn't drop the frames as hard. But I really do not like Hyperbolic Time Chamber. It's such a boring stage. I really like the scenery of this stage, but unfortunately some people's PCs cannot handle it. Fun fact, if you throw a charged Ki Blast and it hits him and then you switch your character will follow up and you'll be able to close the distance that way as well. I tried to do that, but I failed at it. He gets the switch off on me. I didn't vanish his super counter because I'm trash. But it's all good. Everything will be fine. I really love Lord Slug's charged Ki Blast. He's so good up close. That's why I don't have him on point. Because I could just switch him up when I'm close up to him. I don't have to work towards closing the distance. So he's a really good character to switch into. And I don't know if you saw that, but High Tension gives me 2 Ki bars. And that's another really good thing about him. So you could easily use High Tension and then put yourself into Ki Advantage and you should be safe to engage. Although it does cost 3 Ki bars, so that's a big investment. And that's game there. I would say GG.
Thanks a bunch. Let's train again.
Yeah, and I mentioned he has characters on. Not his character. He has items on his characters. 37 win streak. Oh boy. And I'm not scared to rematch him. Clearly, I'm way beyond his skill level. So even though he's basically cheating by putting items on his characters, I'm not scared to rematch. It is an unfair advantage, but whatever, I'll take it. I think right now as we speak, I'm in the low 40s for win streak. It would be nice if I could get into the 60s. My PR is 51, which I've uploaded a video of it. Once I get to, if I break it, I'll make a video on it. Or maybe I'll make a video of me losing my 40 win streak again. But yeah, you can see how laggy it is right now. It's pretty bad. But I transformed to SS2 Gohan because I know he has Broly on his team. If he transforms with his Broly, that is very dangerous. And he has a high likelihood of transforming with him because he has a full Ki gauge. So he will... Chances are is that he could possibly farm lots of skill points because he has a full Ki gauge. And he will probably win the engagement, so he'll be high health if he transforms. But luckily, I have a massive skill gap on this guy, so not an issue for me. which goes to show that just because someone has key advantage over you doesn't mean you automatically lose the game. Key advantage is a more important thing in a singles battle. In DP battle, there are ways to get over it. But in certain situations, you really want to make sure you're not in key disadvantage, like when you're low health, like I mentioned earlier. I'm gonna lose this Vanish War, but that's okay. I want to farm some skill points with King Cold. The more skill points I have, the more explosive waves I have. And he loses that Vanish War despite having massive key advantage over me. I mean, it could be because of the lag, but hey, it's lagging for me too, so we're on an equal playing field in terms of input delay. So that's how I cope with bad connections, is that cope meaning like not making excuses, is that we're both having bad input delay. But some people do have a play style for their lag. Like most people who know they have a really laggy connection or whatever, they will just do like instant spark and key blast spam, because doesn't really require much inputting, and input delay wouldn't really affect that play style. So it's really funny. Laggy players have a play style for their lag. Now our connection is shitting the bed. You could see the connection went yellow, so now it's our connection. Although it doesn't tell whose connection it is. I don't vanish that rush super, and it's fine. He should have saved his key in the case of a Vanish War. SS2 Gohan is so clean. I really like his combo strings. Not even because they're good, but just because they just look so satisfying to me. Oh, good vanish by him. Okay, desperate revenge counter. And I destroy his Broly again before he could switch. Before he could transform, I mean. And I don't understand it. And he's not rage quitting on me, so I don't know how he got to S2. Because maybe he legitimately got to S2 without rage quitting, or rage quitting that much. Because most people would have rage quit on that first game with such a massive skill gap. Because some people will rage quit because they're like, oh, this guy is so sweaty, this and that, they ruined the fun of the game. And it's just like, how do I ruin the fun of the game? Because you lose to me? You could still have fun by losing. I have fun when I lose. You know, so it's quite contradictory when people complain about sweats ruining the game. Although maybe it's a different argument and not about losing. I don't know. Maybe someone in the comments could help me understand why people complain about sweats. I could understand complaining about cheesing, because, yeah. But I consider myself a sweat, I guess. I don't sweat in all my games though. But here, I'm really not even sweating on him that hard. Because if I were, I would be switching my characters out all the time. Like I would switch my character out there if I were sweating, because Roshi is low health. And I have the setups to do it right now, but I don't. Okay, now I do. I will say I am trying quite hard on him though, because I don't like that he's using items, so I really want to gap him. I want to destroy him. Yeah, the lag is messing up my inputs, but whatever. Yeah, I could have used a revenge counter there to try and prevent him from switching, but I didn't really care to. Like, I'll let him switch. He could bring in his next character. I'm confident in finishing him. Which is basically what I'm doing here.
A royal execution. Take this.
Nice and easy. Notice how I use supers to try and finish my opponent as opposed to just doing random supers. The reason being is because if you just throw out a super... I think he just taunted me. Why taunt me when you're losing that badly? It's funny. But the reason being is because if you use a super and you drain all your ki and then he's still alive, how are you going to follow up? If you can't follow up, then they're going to switch. So, not that you should never use a super if you can't finish them, but you have to think about like your future opportunities and what you could do with it. Oh, and I'm really happy I got this ultimate off. King Cole's ultimate is cool. And it's funny that I was able to finish him with the switch follow-up with Slug. Okay, he runs the whole set, so I have respect for him in that regard. He runs the whole set, even though like there's a clear skill gap between the two of us. I still don't like that he has items on, but at the very least, I will respect that he runs the sets. He's not scared.
Keep on trying. Right there.
But honestly, I shouldn't have run the sets because he's laggy and he's using items. But whatever, I'll do it.
That'll do for now, I suppose.
Like, the lag is bearable. Well, my Gohan is getting put in the blender here. That's not good. I need Gohan for Broly. He should not be losing those Vanish Wars. He has ki advantage. He shouldn't be losing them. I could still kind of keep up my Vanish Wars because I don't really time it. I use a visual cue. So before they cock their limb back and swing on me, that's when I will press Vanish. So I use visual cues more so than timing it.
How dare you?
It's like in boxing. When you see they're telegraphing, that's when you want to dodge, right? All characters will telegraph their little attack before in a Vanish battle. And I use that as a visual cue. And again, oh man, Lord Slug's charged ki blast is so satisfying when you land them. And oh no, here it comes. Legendary Broly. Let's see how I deal with it.
Let's enjoy this.
That was a nice setup with the charged ki blast. I'll give him that. Yep, immediately use a heavy attack to stun him, to stagger him. And he has ki advantage on me. Like, I don't care. I will spend my ki now. It's on him to super counter me. So since he has ki advantage on me in that one situation, I will keep resetting him and spend my ki. And I finish his Broly. Easily. If you're using less than 7 DP character, you have to immediately use your heavy attacks. Unless you're using a character that has a flying kicks as their first rush chain, so that would be unfortunate. But since Slug has a gut punch as his first rush chain, he could deal with Broly pretty, I don't want to say easily, but he could deal with Broly. Yep, I switched to my Roshi. Roshi has spawns in with 3 ki bars, so that's good. Roshi's a really good character to switch in to follow up your knockback chains. Because he has 3 ki bars, he could win Vanish Wars pretty easily. You don't want to switch in a character with one key bar to do to help you follow up your knockback chains. But all that doesn't matter because his Goku spawns in with full key gauge. But it seems like he really doesn't know how to take advantage of having a massive key advantage over me. This is how you do it. By forcing me into a Vanish War. And look how much skill points he's able to farm because of this. I'm farming skill points as well, but you know, it's a chain of events. What are you gonna do with the skill points that you farmed? Right? So having key advantage is only as good as what you know or how you use it. Right? So you can have key advantage. What's gonna come out of it? So a lot of people talk about key advantage, but they really don't have a deep understanding of why it's important, and you really need to know why. Most of it is because of skill points. And a lot of times I will bait people to spend their skill points through a super perception or a revenge counter.
Keep on trying.
Yeah, I don't really like Master Roshi because he descends a lot. Master Roshi's, Buff Roshi is a really good character, but one of his biggest downfalls is that he can't fly, so he slowly descends. And since he slowly descends, you give the high ground to your opponent, and if they have high ground, a lot of your Ki Blasts will miss. So if you go back, you'll notice a lot of my Ki Blasts missed him. But hey, it's just something you gotta adapt to and get used to, and know about before you use Roshi. But it could even mess up your opponent. You see how my Ki Blast started missing because I have a much higher angle on him?
Let's go beyond. Keep on trying. What's wrong?
Okay, he switches out his Roshi. Out comes Goku. Let's see what he does with the 5 skill points that he built up. Let's see what he does with what he got from having a massive key advantage over me. He uses a revenge counter. Terrible idea, in my opinion. Okay, he still really hasn't used his skill points like that, so okay, he transforms to SS3. Okay. And again, being able to farm your skill points really quickly because you spawn in with a full key gauge could be a massive advantage. If he forced me into a Vanish War with his Broly, he could transform to Legendary Broly really quickly. Very quickly. So had he forced me into a Vanish War with Broly, I probably wouldn't challenge it because I don't want him farming his skill points. But again, that's what makes having key advantage so crazy, because if I don't challenge the Vanish War, there's a chance I lose. I mean, I basically will take a lot of damage. So if I do challenge it, he will farm skill points. If I don't challenge it, I'm gonna take 5 to 10k damage because of it. And he wants to use instant sparking without setting it up, which is not the smartest idea. I just punish him because of it. There's really not much to say in this last part. So I will say I will talk about people saying, oh, it's the game's fault, it's the developer's fault. If they allow me to put on items, I'm going to do it. No, just because you could get away with doing it doesn't mean you should do it. It just goes to show your values, right? If you could get away, like, now basically the search system is based off the honor system, right? It's up to you to play honestly. If you choose not to, then you're just a scumbag for that, because there's an option to play with items on. So why bring items into a no item match? Yes, I get that it's partially the game's fault, or mostly the game's fault, for allowing that glitch to happen, but it just means we're going off the honor system now. We're queuing up for no items. Don't put on items. Stop doing that. It's weird. Go play item matches if you want to play with items. Anyway, have a good night, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.